So you signed up for a data extraction tool to set up some reports fast. You quickly realize there's a bit more to the story. Understanding the entire setup process and configuring data pipelines from ground zero often takes time and technical skills you'd rather not deal with. What if I told you that you can skip all of that and start with clean, structured, ready-to-use data right out of the box? Well, meet dataset templates. Fully configured, blended, and structured sets of data covering a wide range of use cases around marketing, finance, sales, and more. All you have to do is find the right template, plug in your credentials, and send it to a desired destination. As simple as that. Let's take a look at how this works a bit more closely. So when we start a new data flow, we now have an option to use a pre-built dataset, which will take us to the list of existing templates. And for this demonstration, I will be taking a look at a few different examples around finance, marketing, and also e-commerce. So let's start with a popular dataset template we have for QuickBooks P&L annual. So over here, we'll see that it's a 12-month overview. There's a few different aggregations available in here, different kinds of columns. You can always preview what this data set will kind of showcase. And then once you're ready to set it up, just click Use Selected Template and simply connect your credentials. I've already done this, so I'm just going to pick it from a list. But when you do this for the first time, just add the credentials of your account, authorize it, and then simply follow along. So now that we've connected both of these, let's take a look at transformations. So this is where we can actually see the entirety of the data set and what we will have in our destination as an end result. One thing to note, you'll see there is a few different pinned views. So I'll be working with the revenue and expenses as a more comprehensive view that I want to send to my sheets. But if you wanted to maybe look at net profit or operating profit and loss or gross profit, you are able to select between these views and decide what you want to send to your destination. Let's say I'm happy with my revenue and expenses. I will then click on destinations and send it to Google Sheets. Here, I will be prompted to select what I want to send. So this is why preview is quite useful because I know exactly what data goes in there. So I'm interested in revenue and expenses. And after that, I am simply following through with the steps of the application to connect my Google Sheet file. So here I can select existing sheets or type in a new name and we're going to create it for you. There is a couple of additional settings over here that I'll just skip over, and then we can click on Save and Run. By default, the auto refresh is enabled on a daily basis. You can adjust this, and then as soon as this executes, exactly what we saw in transformations is going to be the output that we will have in our Google Sheet. Very simple, very straightforward, extremely fast, speed to value. Let's take a look at a couple of other examples as well. For the second example, I'd like to take a look at a Shopify dataset with shipping and taxes. So this is essentially everything you'll need for your order level data, sales, line item details, and so on. So once again, I'll click on Use Selected Template. All I have to do now is just connect my Shopify credentials, proceed to transformations. And once it loads, I can once again preview exactly what I have in this data set and what kind of aggregated views we have. So I have raw aggregation, or rather lack of it, where I have the entire list of my orders available. I also have line items grouped by month, daily, weekly, and so on. Once I locate the dataset view that I want to send, I will once again proceed to send it to a destination, just like we did in the previous example. Let's do one more. And the final example I would like to use is one of our more popular templates, which is PPC Campaign Performance, that blends data from different ad platforms right away to give you a comprehensive overview of your multi-channel advertisement performance. So the same process applies. Let's connect the sources we are interested in. You will see that in here, on top of just connecting the credentials, we can also specify the reporting period that we're interested in. By default, it's rolling 2 months, but let's say I'm interested in something like starting from January 1st of this year up until today. So once I refresh this data, I'll always revert back to January 1st, and then my end date will dynamically update. So I'll do that for Facebook, and let's do that for Google Ads as well. All right, so once configured, we'll go to transformations. And once it loads, once again, we'll be able to preview our weekly performance view, monthly performance view, all ads data without any kind of aggregations, and understand what it is that we want to send to our destination. At this point, you might ask, but Alex, this has some basic advertisement info like impressions, clicks, my amount spent, and so on. It doesn't have everything that I want, such as conversions or maybe additional metrics. Say no more. Once you've created this, it is possible to go back into the settings and adjust the metrics selection. So let's take a look at how it's done. So for that, we'll find the data flow that we want to make adjustments to, go back into it. And then at this point, if I go back to the data source settings, I will actually be able to access everything else that we didn't have by default. So in my case, let's say I'm interested in adding conversions to this Facebook ads data. And I can look at the list of available metrics and dimensions. There's plenty of conversions. Let's say I'm interested in conversions leads, and that's it. For Google, in this example, it's a little bit different because as you can see, we are extracting an actual report type, which by default will return all possible columns. So for me to be able to add conversions to Google Ads, this will happen in the transformation step. Once we go back to transformations, let's make sure to click update so we refetch the newly updated data. And once it loads, you'll see that for Facebook ads, we have a little notification here saying that something has changed in the shape of our data. And if we click on show details, we'll see that the conversions info is now added. Let's click on apply new. And this now becomes part of our data set. Looks like I don't have any leads available here, but that's not a problem. The goal is just to show how to add additional things. If I go now to the columns management section, I'm able to hide what I'm not interested in. So let's say I only am interested in the total count of the leads and nothing else. So I do have the total, which is a default combination for all attribution settings. So I'll just hide this and be left with conversions leads total. For the sake of it, let me also rename it to conversions total. If I picked more, I could then perform additional calculations here and combine multiple conversions into one columns. We will have other videos linked in the description so you guys can see how transformations work and how you can work with formula-based features and all of the other things. So this is just to give you an idea on how to add more stuff to a pre-configured dataset template. So for Google Ads, the process will be quite similar. We will go to the columns management section and we will actually look for our conversions. And let's say in Google Ads, we have configured our main conversion to be leads or something of that nature. And here I will just pick it. And the biggest thing for me here would be to make sure that I rename the column name to be identical with other data sources that I have, in this case, Facebook ads. So now once I look at the all ads data, in here you will see that the conversions total has been now added to the dataset over here. Since we do have 2 additional views that were derived with the help of our aggregation feature, I can now come back to its settings over here. I can now add my newly added conversion metric and sum it all together in my monthly view, which is now going to be part of my data set. So let's say I also want to move it over here. If I wanted to work with weekly performance, the same idea applies. I would simply come here and say, all right, let me also aggregate my conversions by performing a sum operation on it so that I have it as part of my view that I will be then sending to my destination. Once it's done, we can proceed with the third step, which is sending the data to our destination. Let's say Google Sheets is where I want it. Once again, we will be prompted to select which view we would like to send. So let's say I'm interested in my weekly performance, and then I will simply proceed with these steps of the application to connect a spreadsheet. Then select a sheet where I want to send this to. And then click Save and Run. It'll take a few seconds, and then once the execution happens, we will see our weekly aggregated views in the Google Sheet alongside the conversions data, just like we added in the Transformations tab. And now that it has executed, let's take a look at the results. A newly created tab with the conversions column that we added and all of the other metrics aggregated based on a weekly basis. By now, I hope that I've convinced you that datasets are a fantastic way to get started with setting up your data pipelines quickly and without any real setup work. Let's take it one step further. Did you actually know that all the templates that couplerio offers are essentially an extension of the dataset templates? The biggest difference is that as an output, you would be getting yourself an actual visual dashboard populated with your data automatically. This video is not focusing on how to set these up. We will link another tutorial about this in the description of the video, so make sure to check it out to gain full value from couplerio. If you haven't yet, sign up on our website for free without a credit card required. And if you have any ideas for new dataset templates or maybe dashboards that we haven't implemented yet, let us know and we'll do our best to add it into the mix.